So I think next we move on to do our wrap-up session.
Yeah, we do.
We're running a little bit late. We were supposed to end at the 30-minute mark. That's 10 minutes from now. So our producer has graciously agreed to allow us to run 5 or 10 minutes late. So for those of you in the audience, we just want to share some information and reminders that are useful. And there's some videos that we want to roll too that give you a sneak peek, an even better sneak peek into those on-demand videos. So let's see, what do we have here? Oh, the reminder about the survey. If you've ever given a talk, you know how valuable that feedback is on your talk. So please, as a gift to the speakers and the organizers for this virtual event, we would love your feedback. Survey's open till next Friday, the 28th, end of day, anywhere on Earth, 11:59 p.m. PST. And then Yelta, what are we going to say about the Discord?
I mean, go there, ask questions, talk to people, or just read what other people write. I mean, you can lurk as much as you want. It's fine as well.
Lurking is okay. All right. These are the talks that we just reviewed, and I just popped the Livestream playlist URL on the screen again, so you can go watch them or screenshot them or send them to colleagues even before we publish. And then I just wanted to remind everybody that Boris, who did the storytelling, is, along with Alvaro Herrera, going to be guests on Path To Citus Con on Wednesday, May 3rd. It's a really cool format. We kind of stole the idea from Brian Cantrell and Adam Leventhal and folks at Oxide Computer, who have been doing these live shows on Discord where there's a voice conversation that ends up getting turned into a podcast recording, but then in parallel, there's this live text chat. So everybody in the audience kind of has a chance to participate, drop in links, add comments, and it's so you're interacting and experiencing the event on two levels at once. And it's just a ton of fun. So our first two episodes were pretty popular. We're going to do it again. And this one will be about why giving talks at Postgres conferences matters, which seems appropriate for me to have mentioned here. So was that too much of a sales pitch? I'm just so excited about this.
No, it's fine, Claire. It's a bit of a sales pitch, but it's okay.
Okay. All right. We already mentioned the Americas live stream that you can watch. Should we roll some of these on demand?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay. So let's roll the first one on Postgres performance and security.
But in fact, I'm going to show you different, hopefully exciting ways that you don't know about to index UUIDs in PostgreSQL.
So if you are a traveling Postgres consultant like me, so we see that often a lot of performance can be gained by outsmarting people, right?
Today I'm going to be talking about Postgres table bloat, but the overall idea of this talk is discussing the transition from doing Postgres at a smaller scale to Postgres at scale.
I'm going to talk to you today about PostgreSQL privileges, roles, and security, and how you can take better advantage of them within your Postgres installation.
The thing I wanted to talk about, explain the concepts behind tuning high-write workloads for Postgres, and then dive deeper into the specific configurations.
I'm DevOps Data Technical Lead of JFrog, and I want to share my lecture about troubleshooting high CPU utilization for Postgres database.
We'll talk about external attacks, about authentication security, about data protection, and also I will share some tips and my recommendations with you.
Yeah, no, this sounds amazing. I'm a huge security nerd myself, so I'm definitely going to watch Taras' talk.
Yeah, I think we could spend 5 minutes talking about each one of these. And the thing for me that's so cool about being involved in Postgres conferences is this is how I've met some of these people, right? They don't work with me on the Citus team or at Microsoft. Well, other than Samai on this grouping, these are all people I've met at conferences. And the Postgres community it's open and it's global and it's pretty fun. All right, so I think I have more slides here that we're supposed to go through. So let's see if I can click into them. I did want to say thank you to the talk selection team for reviewing all those proposals. Oh, no, I'm not trying to thank myself. No, that's not the point. But, you know, Alicia, Aaron, Charles, Marco, this took a lot of time. It was a big lift. There were a lot of submissions, and I really wanted to just give them a shout out.
Thanks to everyone. Yes. And
then here, swag. The code is on the screen, swag bag. The URL is on the screen. If you're here and you haven't had a chance to go do that, this activity book is actually kind of cool. Like I have it here. And I don't know, it's fun for kids and it's fun for adults and stickers. I just want people to be able to benefit from this. So I wanted to mention it. So because I'm not sure if the cutoff, I don't think it's like this minute. I don't think it's the moment the live stream ends, although it could be. So do it now. But it's certainly going to be today, like probably within the hour or something, but maybe before this live stream ends. So what else do we have here, Yelta, that we wanted to cover? I think the sticker packs too. That is a different code. So stickers. So if you want to enter for both, you got to enter twice using the same URL, the different codes.
You're allowed to. That's fine. You can enter to both of them. Totally acceptable. You don't have to, but you're allowed to.
Okay, it's good that you're giving people permission, Yelta, because they might not have been sure, and now they are. All right, let's roll the next video that gives some sneak previews of some of these on-demand talks. These are our talks all about Postgres on Azure.
Hey, Lucas here, and I'll present to you how I auto-scaled a Cosmos DB for Postgres cluster using Citus, of course, Grafana, and Azure Serverless.
This talk is for multi-tenant SaaS companies who are growing fast. That is, they're onboarding thousands of customers, and they are expecting or already running into scalability issues with their database and want to scale out with distributed PostgreSQL.
So today we are going to talk about multi-tenant software as a service applications on Azure Cosmos DB for PostgreSQL.
It's built upon like the community version of Postgres, so the open source Postgres, and adds also Citus extension, which turns Postgres into a distributed database.
In this session, I would like to talk about partitioning in PostgreSQL and how it is similar and different than Oracle.
So today's focus of the talk is to discuss some tools, recommendations, and best practices of how to reduce cost on Azure database for Postgres flexible server.
My talk is about Azure AD authentication with flexible servers. If you use flexible servers or plan to try it out, this feature will help make your application connections more secure. It will save your time managing credentials and roles, so please check it out.
Okay, so those are all good talks. I think I've seen all of them so far except for Addy's. Addy's the one who gives the Oracle to Postgres partitioning strategies talk. But I have to say, any talk that features Grafana in a demo, I'm always a fan.
Yeah, I used Grafana a lot at my previous company. It's amazing software.
Yeah, so thank you, Lucas, for putting that together for us. Let's see. Oh, I promised somebody I would put this slide up here. Speaking of Azure Cosmos DB for Postgres, which I call Citus on Azure because I work on Citus open source, but the service name on Azure is Azure Cosmos DB for Postgres. We had a big launch around that last October, and this training module was created by one of my teammates contributed to it, Joe Nelson, and it's supposed to be pretty good for anybody who's trying to get started. So I promised I would drop this up there with that short URL, although it's kind of a long URL. But anyway, that aka.ms URL for anybody who's looking to get started using Citus on Azure. So there, job done. We have another trailer. this one is from people who are either Citus open source users or in the ecosystem in Alvado's case, or Ander, obviously you work very closely with him. So he's the
one of our colleagues.
Second from the right. Okay, so let's roll this one.
So this talk, we're gonna discuss a little bit why you want to run a database on Kubernetes, how this was done to run Citus, to create Citus clusters before Patroni 3.0 appeared, and the most important thing, how you can run Kubernetes, Citus on Kubernetes today with open source software in a very, very easy manner.
In my opinion, cybersecurity applications have a certain unique set of features and requirements that are different from other applications. I also think that Citus database is very uniquely positioned to solve many of the challenges that cybersecurity applications present.
I'm a principal engineer working on the platform here at Jellyfish. Been here since the early days and through a lot of our growth and our infra choices, including the move to a sharded database that we're going to talk with you here today about.
The purpose of this talk is to help get ahead of some of the gotchas that come up when trying to move to a self-hosted Citus implementation. We went through this journey, and we'd like to share some of the interesting technical challenges that we had to solve.
Because I frequently get questions about foreign key support in Citus. In this talk, I want to clarify some of the concepts regarding Citus.
Hello, I'm here today to share with you some lessons and observations from Safety Culture's migration from a managed PostgreSQL service to our own self-hosted Postgres.
Wow. Yeah, it's always great to hear stories from people using Citus and even the problems they run into. That, I mean, they're not so nice to hear, but they're good to hear, so we know what to change.
I'm trying to find the banner that I have that goes to all these on-demand talks. Oh, here we go. So if you want to watch any of the on-demand talks that we're showing, you can get to there from the schedule page. And this URL takes you to the schedule page with the on-demand tab opened. And there's YouTube embeds there for every single one of these talks. So I don't know. I do a lot of my learning on the weekends. I tend to sleep in on Saturday mornings and then, go for a hike with my husband and then try to read a blog or watch a video or something. So there's plenty to keep me busy and hopefully everybody else moving forward, but definitely go check those out. I think we have one more video to roll in a minute, but first this is just the Citus GitHub repo screenshot that I put up there. Seemed relevant to the talks that we just looked at. And I know you spend a lot of time here, Yelta, because it's pretty active.
I push lots of commits, review lots of PRs. So I know this page very well.
Okay. Well, that's where you live and work. Okay. So the next collection of mini previews of the on-demand talks, these are all Postgres ecosystem talks, Postgres community talks. Let's see what it is.
I am Dimitri Fontaine, and I've been contributing to PostgreSQL for a very long time now. We're going to talk about how to copy a Postgres database, so from one server to the other one.
The concept of storing time with databases had been popular for a very long time, pretty much since relational databases come to life.
And secondly, the goal of this talk is to talk about how Postgres can give you an ideal platform to use artificial intelligence in your applications.
We'll set the scene by imagining that you're the DBA in an organization that needs to implement multi-tenancy.
What I'm going to talk about today is how we've taken PostgreSQL, a nice, sane relational database, and how we've twisted it and molded it and created what we think is a very robust document database and event store solution.
Today, I will talk about in-depth guide to the Postgres' new CI
and I will explain how to use that new CI.
In this talk, we'll see together how to build web maps from scratch using Django and PostGIS. If you are asking yourself what type of maps we can build with Django, let's see an example right away.
Wow.
Yes, they all sound very interesting too. It's I'm definitely the whole playlist is on my to watch list in my in the time I have after this.
Jelte, this is actually the second time I've co-hosted something with you, right? We did a release party.
Yeah, that was also, I don't know, last December
11.2? 11.2?
I think it was around December.
Yeah,
It was also very fun.
Are we allowed to say anything about Citus 11.3? It's happening at some point.
I mean, it's very close. It's very close to. I mean, we sort of all have all the code pretty much ready. We basically, I mean, Citus Con was a bit like, we need to focus our efforts here for a bit, and so the next thing to focus our efforts on is actually doing the final release of 11.3. So it should be out in like a few weeks, like 2-ish.
So anybody who's on the Discord, obviously Rob Treat was the co-host for the Americas live stream earlier today, depending on your perspective on time. And he's awesome. And that was so much fun. But those of you who are on the Discord right now who are watching, by all means, let us know if Jelte and I should co-host something else together in the future. Like perhaps maybe the next live stream, or not the next live stream, the next release party. So let us know. And Jelte, we're going to be in trouble if nobody says anything. What does that mean? What are we going to do? Before we end, I wanted to throw the swag bag and stickers codes up there with the URL. If you haven't yet gone to request those, it'll get shipped to you. Your addresses will be treated very confidentially and, thrown away afterwards. So, and again, there's that invitation to join us on the back channel on Discord. Even though this live stream is ending, our speakers are still going to be there later today and probably tomorrow. And obviously there'll be speakers popping in who are on-demand speakers as well. So feel free to drop your questions there. It's very asynchronous, and that's cool. But hopefully they will see it, and when they get there, they will get you a reply. Jelte, is there anything else that you want to talk about in terms of like closing remarks? I put the survey URL on the screen because I think that's really important, and it's a gift, that you can give. So we're happy to give the gift stickers and socks and things, but we would love your feedback.
I think we're basically done, and I wanted to thank everyone that watched, because I mean that's what we're doing this conference for people to watch it. So hopefully you enjoyed it, and see you next year.
Long live Postgres, the world's most advanced open source relational database. Awesome. Thank you. See you next year.